The year is 1992. The Bombay Stock Exchange is in chaos as the index plummets.
At the center of this storm is Harshad Mehta, once hailed as a financial wizard.
Known as the Big Bull, Mehta's rise and fall is a story of ambition and greed. Mehta's journey exposed the vulnerabilities within the Indian banking system.
His story shone a light on the loopholes, shaking the market to its core.
It's a cautionary tale of success built on shaky ground, a reminder of the importance of transparency and accountability. Mehta's story continues to resonate today, serving as a lesson against financial malpractice. Harshad Mehta's journey began in a small town in Gujarat. Born into a middle-class family, Mehta's early life was marked by a relentless drive to succeed.
He moved to Mumbai, seeking a better life. His early days were spent navigating the challenges of a new city.
He dabbled in various jobs, each fueling his desire for more. The stock market soon caught Mehta's attention.
He started small, working as a jobber, learning the tricks of the trade. His sharp mind and keen observation skills didn't go unnoticed. He quickly rose through the ranks, becoming a member of the Bombay Stock Exchange.
Mehta's early success was a testament to his hard work. He possessed an uncanny ability to predict market trends. His reputation as a financial whiz-kid grew, attracting a loyal clientele.
Little did they know he would soon become the architect of one of the biggest financial scams in Indian history.
The 1980s witnessed economic liberalization in India. The stock market became accessible to a wider population.
Harshad Mehta, with his Midas touch, capitalized on this market. He cultivated an image of a financial visionary.
Mehta's strategy was simple: buy low, sell high. He identified undervalued stocks and invested heavily. His bullish approach attracted a wave of investors.
Mehta manipulated market sentiments to his advantage.
This period saw the rise of new investors lured by easy money. Mehta became a symbol of a new India on the cusp of economic greatness. However, beneath the success lay a web of deceit. Harshad Mehta's story began in Paneli, Gujarat. Born in 1954, Harshad was a curious child.
His family instilled in him the importance of hard work. Life in Paneli was simple, a stark contrast to Mumbai.
Cricket matches and village fairs were highlights of his childhood. School held little appeal for Harshad. He believed his true education lay in the marketplaces of Gujarat.
After schooling, Harshad moved to Mumbai. The bustling metropolis excited and intimidated him. He knew he had to work harder and be bolder.
Little did he know these traits would contribute to his downfall. Mumbai in the 1970s was a city on the cusp of transformation. The winds of change carried the aspirations of millions.
For me, the city was a stark contrast to Paneli. The cacophony of traffic and crowded streets took some getting used to.
Amidst the chaos, Harshad saw opportunity. He took up odd jobs, immersing himself in trade. Each experience provided valuable lessons.
It was during this time that I came across the stock market. Initially, it seemed like a world shrouded in mystery, but I was intrigued.
He spent hours in libraries devouring books on finance. The stock market had captured his imagination. Harshad was determined to decipher its secrets. Harshad Mehta's journey to Dalal Street was not paved with privilege. Armed with ambition, he started as a jobber at the Bombay Stock Exchange.
My role was simple: execute buy and sell orders for brokers.
Despite the mundane work, Harshad approached it with zeal. He studied trading patterns and observed seasoned traders. His sharp mind quickly grasped the market's nuances.
As my understanding grew, so did my ambition. I yearned for more, dreaming of commanding the market's attention.
He knew he needed to take risks and create opportunities. Harshad was determined to achieve his dreams. The early 1980s witnessed economic liberalization in India. The stock market began to attract wider participation. Harshad Mehta was perfectly positioned to capitalize on this market.
I realized I needed to move beyond being a jobber. In 1984, I started my own brokerage firm, Grow More Research.
With limited capital and unwavering belief, he set out to make his mark. His strategy: identify undervalued stocks and convince clients to invest.
I had an uncanny ability to read the market. I meticulously researched companies and studied market sentiment.
His recommendations were based on a deep understanding of fundamentals. His clients trusted him with their investments. Grow More Research became synonymous with smart, profitable investments. As Harshad's success grew, so did his appetite for risk. He sought opportunities in lesser-known companies.
I believed in the potential of the Indian economy. While others saw uncertainty, I saw potential.
His aggressive investment style raised eyebrows. The old guard of Dalal Street questioned his methods, but Harshad paid no heed.
I knew that fortune favored the bold.
Harshad cultivated a vast network of informants. He was privy to insider information, giving him a significant edge. He used this information to his advantage.
The inflated stock prices fueled my image as a market wizard.
Harshad's relentless pursuit of wealth led him down a dangerous path. At the heart of Harshad Mehta's scheme lay the Ready Forward deal. An RF deal is a short-term loan agreement between banks. Bank A lends surplus funds to Bank B for a short period. The deal is secured by government bonds. Simple enough, right?
I saw an opportunity in this transaction.
The loophole lay in the execution of these deals. The system lacked a centralized clearing mechanism. Transactions were paper-based, involving bank receipts. This lack of transparency created a window of opportunity.
I acted as an intermediary between banks. I convinced Bank A that I represented Bank B and vice versa. The catch? Neither bank was aware of the other's involvement.
Harshad pocketed the funds, promising to deliver the securities later. His scheme exploited the system's lack of immediate electronic verification. The money Harshad siphoned off didn't just vanish, he channeled it back into the stock market. This created an artificial demand, inflating stock prices.
This was a time of limited regulatory oversight.
To sustain the charade, Harshad needed a constant inflow of funds. It was like building a house of cards.
The inflated stock prices fueled my image as a market wizard. Investors flocked to me, further fueling the cycle of deception.
Harshad created an ecosystem where his lies were validated by the market.
I knew that perception was more powerful than reality. I needed to create an aura of invincibility.
Harshad employed a network of brokers to spread rumors. These stocks were projected as the next big thing.
Investors blindly followed me, driven by fear of missing out.
The media perpetuated Harshad's image as a financial messiah. His lavish lifestyle was splashed across newspapers.
I was portrayed as the poster boy of the new India. I cultivated this image to maintain the illusion of success.
Harshad's mastery of market manipulation played a crucial role. At his peak, Harshad Mehta was the king of Dalal Street. His every move was tracked and analyzed.
I had amassed a fortune and commanded attention.
His brokerage firm, Grow More Research, became a financial powerhouse. Politicians and industrialists sought his advice.
I had become a symbol of the new India.
But cracks were beginning to appear in his facade. The system he manipulated would become his undoing. Whispers of doubt were growing louder. Harshad's house of cards was about to collapse. As Harshad Mehta's empire grew, so did the scrutiny. Journalists, particularly a tenacious financial writer named Sucheta Dalal, began to notice irregularities in the market. The sheer volume of funds being channeled through RF deals, the inexplicable rise of certain stocks, and the lack of transparency in Harshad's dealings raised red flags.
I started digging deeper, painstakingly piecing together the puzzle. I interviewed brokers, bankers, and market analysts, slowly uncovering the intricate web of deceit that lay at the heart of Harshad's empire. My articles, published in the Times of India, began to chip away at the carefully crafted image of Harshad as a financial genius.
Meanwhile, within the banking system too, concerns were being raised. The Reserve Bank of India, the country's central bank, noticed unusual volatility in the money market. The volume of RF deals had skyrocketed, and there were discrepancies in the accounts of several banks. The RBI initiated its own investigation, unaware of the magnitude of the scam they were about to uncover. The beginning of the end for Harshad Mehta came in April 1992.
Armed with irrefutable evidence, I published a bombshell exposé.
The article sent shockwaves through the Indian financial system. The market went into a tailspin. Panic-stricken investors rushed to sell their holdings, leading to a massive crash. The RBI launched a full-blown investigation. The house of cards he had built began to crumble.
Harshad, once hailed as a financial visionary, was now exposed as a fraud. His carefully cultivated image lay shattered.
By the late 1980s, Harshad Mehta was no longer just a player in the stock market. He was the game. He had reached the pinnacle of his power. The trading floor buzzed with his name. Mehta's influence extended far beyond the trading floor. He had become a financial oracle, courted by politicians and Bollywood stars. With great wealth came a lifestyle that matched Harshad Mehta's outsized persona. He moved from his modest apartment to a sprawling 15,000-square-foot mansion in Mumbai's posh, Worli neighborhood, a testament to his newfound wealth and status.
The house, a symbol of my success, was the venue for lavish parties attended by politicians, film stars, and the city's elite.
Mehta indulged his passion for luxury cars, amassing a fleet that included a Toyota Corolla, a Lexus LS400, and even a Toyota Sierra, a rare and expensive sports car at the time. His garage became a symbol of his extravagant lifestyle, a stark reminder of how far the boy from Paneli had come.
My wardrobe, once filled with simple, affordable clothing, now boasted designer suits, imported silk ties, and custom-made shoes.
Harshad Mehta, the financial wizard, had embraced the trappings of wealth with the same gusto he had shown in conquering the stock market. He was living the dream, a dream fueled by ambition, risk, and a healthy dose of audacity. Harshad Mehta's meteoric rise was met with a mix of awe, admiration, and suspicion.
For some, I was a folk hero, a self-made man who had dared to challenge the established order of the financial world.
They saw in him a reflection of their own aspirations, a belief that even ordinary people could achieve extraordinary success if they were bold enough to seize the opportunity.
I was often referred to as the Amitabh Bachchan of the stock market, a charismatic figure who captivated the public imagination.
His rags-to-riches story resonated with millions of Indians who saw in him a symbol of hope and possibility in a rapidly changing economic landscape.
However, others viewed my success with a more critical eye.
They questioned his methods, whispering about insider trading, market manipulation, and unethical practices. Rumors of his lavish lifestyle, his close ties to politicians, and his extravagant spending only fueled these suspicions.
Was I a financial genius who had mastered the art of the deal, or was I a master manipulator, a wolf in sheep's clothing, preying on the naivete of unsuspecting investors?
As Harshad Mehta's wealth and influence grew, so did his ambitions.
I ventured beyond the stock market, investing in real estate, media, and even attempted to acquire a controlling stake in a major Indian bank.
He seemed unstoppable, a force of nature determined to leave his mark on every aspect of the Indian economy.
My influence extended to the corridors of power. Politicians, recognizing my financial clout and my ability to influence market sentiment, sought my support.
Mehta, always a shrewd operator, understood the power of political connections. He cultivated relationships with prominent figures across the political spectrum, using his influence to further his business interests.
My foray into the media was particularly noteworthy. I recognized the power of the press, its ability to shape public opinion and influence market sentiment.
He invested heavily in media companies, using his influence to control narratives and promote his image as a financial visionary. Harshad Mehta understood that in the game of perception, controlling the narrative was as crucial as controlling the numbers. At the zenith of his power, Harshad Mehta seemed invincible. He had amassed a fortune, commanded the attention of the nation, and built an empire on his own terms.
But within this success lay the seeds of my downfall hubris.
The unchecked confidence, the belief that he was above the rules, would ultimately prove to be his undoing. His extravagant lifestyle, his blatant disregard for regulations, and his growing arrogance alienated many within the financial community.
The whispers of doubt grew louder, the cracks in my carefully constructed facade becoming more apparent.
Mehta, however, remained oblivious to the gathering storm, blinded by his own success. He continued to push the boundaries, convinced of his own invincibility.
But the higher I climbed, the further I had to fall.
His empire, built on a foundation of deceit and manipulation, was unsustainable. The fall, when it came, would be swift and brutal, shaking the very foundations of the Indian financial system. The year 1991. The Indian economy stood on the brink of a new era. The winds of liberalization were sweeping across the nation. The Bombay Stock Exchange was witnessing an unprecedented bull run. At the helm was Harshad Mehta, the big bull of Dalal Street. While investors celebrated, some questioned the sustainability of this bull run. Whispers of market manipulation began to circulate. Sucheta Dalal, a young journalist, received an anonymous tip-off. It hinted at a massive scam involving bank receipts and government securities.
Intrigued, I embarked on a journey to uncover the truth.
Sucheta Dalal, armed with her journalistic instincts, delved deep into the labyrinthine world of finance. She spent countless hours poring over documents and interviewing sources. Mehta's empire, built on deceit, began to unravel. He exploited a loophole in the banking system's regulatory framework. As Dalal pieced together the puzzle, she faced immense pressure. Threats were issued, attempts were made to discredit her work, but she refused to be intimidated, driven by a sense of duty. On April 23, 1992, the Times of India published Sucheta Dalal's groundbreaking exposé, revealing the intricate details of Harshad Mehta's scam. The article sent shockwaves through the nation, shattering the illusion of invincibility that had surrounded Mehta. The financial world watched in disbelief as the meticulously crafted web of deceit unraveled, exposing the fragility of a system built on trust and transparency. The revelations sent the stock market into a freefall. Panic gripped investors as they watched their fortunes evaporate overnight. The Sensex, the benchmark index of the Bombay Stock Exchange, plummeted, wiping out billions of rupees in market capitalization. The very foundation of the Indian financial system seemed to crumble as the nation grappled with the enormity of the scam. The Reserve Bank of India, the nation's central bank, launched a full-scale investigation into the scam. The investigation revealed the staggering extent of Mehta's manipulation, implicating numerous banks and financial institutions. The scam had exposed the systemic weaknesses in the Indian banking system, highlighting the urgent need for stricter regulations and greater transparency. The scandal became a national spectacle, dominating headlines and sparking public outrage. The man who was once hailed as a financial wizard, the big bull, who seemed to have cracked the code to effortless wealth, was now exposed as a fraudster, his reputation tarnished beyond repair.
Mehta, facing a barrage of accusations and mounting evidence against him, denied any wrongdoing. He claimed to be a victim of circumstance, a scapegoat in a system rife with corruption.
However, the evidence presented against him was overwhelming. The meticulously documented paper trail of his fraudulent transactions, coupled with testimonies from former associates and bank officials, painted a damning picture.
The trial dragged on for years, mired in legal complexities and delaying tactics employed by Mehta's legal team. However, justice, though delayed, was not denied.
In 1999, almost 7 years after the scam was unearthed, the Bombay High Court convicted Harshad Mehta on multiple counts of fraud, conspiracy, and forgery. He was sentenced to 5 years of rigorous imprisonment and fined heavily. The Harshad Mehta scam left an indelible mark on the Indian financial system. It exposed the vulnerabilities of a rapidly growing economy grappling with liberalization and the challenges of regulating a complex financial market.
The scam led to significant reforms in the banking sector, including the introduction of dematerialized trading, stricter norms for RF deals, and enhanced surveillance mechanisms to prevent such large-scale manipulation in the future.
Meta's downfall marked the end of an era of unbridled speculation and unchecked ambition in the Indian stock market. It served as a harsh reminder that even the most sophisticated financial systems are vulnerable to greed and manipulation.
Though convicted and sentenced, Harshad Mehta died in 2001 while still in prison, his legacy forever intertwined with one of the most audacious financial scams in Indian history. His story remains a cautionary tale, a reminder of the importance of transparency, accountability, and the need for robust regulatory frameworks to safeguard the integrity of financial markets.
The Bombay High Court's guilty verdict in 1999 was a significant victory, yet the wheels of justice turned slowly.
Mehta appealed his conviction, determined to clear his name. He remained confined to a prison cell.
Even in prison, Mehta remained an enigma. Life after the fall. A broken bull. Prison life was a far cry from the opulent world Harshad Mehta had built for himself. Stripped of his wealth and influence, he was just another inmate, subject to the harsh realities of prison life.
The man who had once rubbed shoulders with politicians and celebrities was now surrounded by hardened criminals and the forgotten faces of society. Despite the dramatic fall from grace, Mehta remained resilient.
He spent his days reading, writing, and meeting with his lawyers, determined to fight his conviction and salvage what remained of his reputation. He maintained contact with his family, their unwavering support a beacon of hope in his otherwise bleak existence.
His health, however, began to deteriorate. The stress of the trial, coupled with the harsh conditions of prison life, took a toll on his physical and mental well-being.
Mehta, who had always been a fighter, now faced a new battle, a battle for survival. The once formidable Big Bull of Dalal Street was now a shadow of his former self, his body weakened, but his spirit unbroken. On December 31st, 2001, Harshad Mehta complained of chest pain. He was rushed to the prison hospital, but it was too late. The man who had built and lost an empire succumbed to a massive heart attack. Harshad Mehta, the Big Bull of Dalal Street, was dead at the age of 47.
His death sent shockwaves through the nation. For some, it marked the end of an era, the closing chapter on one of the most tumultuous periods in India's financial history.
The dust has long settled on the Harshad Mehta scam, yet the scars it left on the Indian financial system linger. The sheer audacity of his scheme, the scale of manipulation, and the subsequent market crash sent shockwaves that continue to resonate even today. It was a brutal wake-up call, a stark reminder that even the most robust systems are vulnerable to greed and deceit.
The small-time investors, lured by the promise of quick riches, were the hardest hit. Many lost their life savings, their dreams of financial security shattered by the market crash. The trust in the stock market, already fragile in its nascent stages, was severely eroded. The common man, once enamored by the allure of Dalal Street, retreated, viewing it with suspicion and distrust.
The scam also cast a long shadow over the Indian banking system. The ease with which Mehta manipulated loopholes in the RF deals exposed systemic weaknesses, prompting a much-needed overhaul of regulations and oversight. The scandal led to the introduction of dematerialized trading, stricter norms for interbank lending, and enhanced surveillance mechanisms to prevent similar scams in the future. The Harshad Mehta scam was a watershed moment for the Indian stock market. It led to reforms that strengthened the market and restored investor confidence. Electronic trading, dematerialized shares, and stricter SEBI oversight brought transparency.
The scam underscored the importance of financial literacy. Since then, the Indian stock market has grown exponentially. The Sensex has scaled new heights, reflecting India's economic rise.
Harshad Mehta's place in Indian financial history remains a paradox. He is both villain and anti-hero, a cautionary tale and a fascinating study in ambition and manipulation. He exposed the flaws in a system on the cusp of change, yet exploited them for personal gain.
Some argue that Mehta was a product of his time, a street-smart hustler who understood the art of the deal. They see him as a symbol of unbridled ambition and risk-taking.
Others view him as a ruthless manipulator who gamed the system, enriching himself at the expense of countless investors. His legacy is a complex tapestry woven with threads of ambition, greed, innovation, and ultimately tragedy.